Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. Today is August 4th, I think, which means it has been just over a month since I started using my personal size filofax, sort of like full-term, long-term. I have really been enjoying it. I am sticking with this, hopefully for the rest of the year at the very least, but I really enjoy it. I don't really have any complaints, so I thought that we could just have a look and I could tell you about how I used it this month, the things that worked and didn't work, what I'm carrying over to next month or not. And honestly, the best thing about this whole setup is that not only does my iPod fit in the elastic band in the case, but it's also customizable. And as an autistic person and an illustrator, and just a kind of creative person in general, I guess, it is literally like, it has been so good and so fun. I make all my own pages and I can customize things when I need to, which I'll show you. And it's so nice to be able to put things in and take things out when I'm bored of them or when they're annoying me. And it's really good. So I'll flip through the book chronologically, so from start to end, and we can look at what's in there. And then I don't know, we'll talk about it. I'll take my iPod out because otherwise the pages get stuck. Not super practical, to be honest with you. But it does fit really neatly in this pocket. It does stretch the cover a bit, but it's good. This is the original leather cover. A few of you noticed that I had swapped into this one from the Norfolk. I picked this one up because I saw it on sale somewhere, and my pages are not quite personal size, like the official filofax personal size. They're like, it's like something like ½ centimeter wider. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a big difference when you're designing and writing on the pages. They do hang out a little bit of the Norfolk cover, but for this cover they fit perfectly. So when I saw this one on sale, I picked it up so that I could take shop photos showing that the pages do actually fit in the covers. Because the only cover that they don't fit in perfectly is the Norfolk one, which is a shame, but it's because the rings in the Norfolk are like 52mm, which is huge. And these ones are the standard, I can't remember what they are, but they're the standard size rings. So the pages fit fine, which is great. This one does also have the elastic band for my iPod. That is not what it's for, but that is what I have found the most use of it for. I really like it. I normally then put my pen in the rings because when it's in the pen loop, it kind of pushes the pages and I don't want my pages to get too damaged on the edges. I'm not sure how practical these loops are when they're pressing so much. I guess this one would be okay, but my iPod goes there, so there we go. I do like this cover. It's just the original one. I think this is really cute, that it says it inside the button, I guess. It has a back pocket that I don't use. I'm using this ruler that I hole punched to add a charm to. I thought that was quite fun. Hole punching this worked a lot better than I expected as well. I was so nervous doing it. I thought for sure it would like splinter the ruler or something, or I would just mess it up. But it worked. So the charm that I made for my Hobonichi Weeks book originally, I've been carrying with me this whole time on all my books. And I was able to find a nice little safe home for it here as well. Before I punched this hole, I had it clipped onto a paperclip and then the paperclip on the ruler, but it was kind of unsafe and I did actually drop it at one point. Luckily it was in the house and I found it, so it was fine, but that's why I made the hole. I think that's all there is to say about the cover. It's nothing special, but I do like it a lot. I don't have plans to change it at the moment. The only thing that I would consider changing it for is maybe eventually investing in the, is it Motem or Mortem? They make like a personal wide size book or cover for the rings, and I am intrigued, but not intrigued enough at the moment really to spend the money. So there we go, that's what I'm using. All of the plastic inserts come from filofax. The only stuff that isn't filofax is the pages that I've printed myself. Obviously the ruler is filofax and all of the ziplocs are filofax. In this pocket I just have my own business card because I really like the little logo I made for my ghosts. And then I have this piece of paper that's basically like a post-it note that I made. There's another one on the back of here, it's the same thing. It's just a little printed piece of paper with some notes. This vellum sheet I made to be a divider just because I thought that might be quite nice. I used these gold letter stickers. They look like this. You get a big sheet from the stationery store. Just to add the date because I thought it was quite nice, just to give it sort of like a cover of some kind inside. And then this is a card from my deck of tarot cards. They're by Mio-Eam. I don't know how you pronounce it, I should have checked. I'll link them in the description. They're my favourite, I really like them. Oh, there you go. I literally just photocopied it and then folded it over to make a page for my filofax. And then I put the post-it note on the back. Post-it note, it's not actually a post-it note. And then how I stick them is just by gluing a line at the top. And then because Pritt stick can be kind of like not amazing stick-wise, you can normally just take them back off if you need to. Obviously depending how high quality your glue is or how much you use, it could tear the paper. But if you just use like one swipe, you can normally take them back off again. So that's kind of a tip, I guess. I like this little intro to my book. I think it's kind of cute. I like having this at the front because I find that this little slidey square, the zip, it kind of dents the pages if it's at the bottom or anywhere else. So I always keep the ziplock on the top, but I really like having it there as an option to squeeze things into. If I go to the cinema, I'll often put the ticket in there to keep it safe, that kind of thing. So it's something that I appreciate having when I'm out of the house. But it stays on top so it can't hurt my pages. I made these pages, these introductory pages, how do you call them? It's a future log. I made this future log for pagination reasons. It was because I wanted to be able to put my sleep log on this side, so I was trying to work out what I could put on the other side to make it work. So I created this future log style set of pages, and I had a couple of ideas of how to use them, like either like as a gratitude log or just like a short log, a brief log, I guess, of the things I was doing each day. But obviously I didn't fill out July. I just kind of forgot, to be honest with you. I think I just feel quite indecisive about how I want to use it, but I will make an effort to use it this month. Obviously 4 days in, so we're not starting particularly strong. But that is kind of the idea of how I want to use it. Normally in other books, like paginated, dated books like the Hobonichi, I would use this as an index, but now that I'm using a filofax and the pages are so customizable, I don't really need to do that. So it has left me sort of a bit stumped. I think I possibly don't need these pages, but I do like them being there, so I will work it out and I will tell you next month how I used it. I printed out the rest of the year just because that's how the pagination worked out, to be able to have the sleep log. My sleep log is because I'm currently being investigated for a sleep disorder. It turns out I might have had it my entire life and just not known, which is kind of incredible but not the topic of this video. I am tracking the quality of my sleep with the happy face, the medium face and the sad face. I find that to be the easiest way to quantify how my sleep felt, I guess, because with a sleep disorder my sleep is always bad, to be honest. That's why there's no happy ticked. It doesn't really help me to have a numbered scale or anything. I just find that confusing. It's either medium sleep or it's bad sleep. And so that's how I've done it. Medium sleep would be like normal bad, and then bad would be like really bad sleep, which if you have a sleep disorder will make sense to you. And if you don't have a sleep disorder, you're so lucky. But that's kind of how I quantify it, is with like the happy sad scale. On the other side of the page, I use the same scale for everyday sleepiness. Big part of my life is just being perpetually drowsy, so again I track that. I never have days when I'm not drowsy because I have a sleep disorder. So again, it's just, you know, normal bad and bad bad. And then in the middle I make notes. Normally it's about how many naps I take. Otherwise it's about the kind of weird dreams I'm having. I end up going through these phases where I'm very like intensely dreaming, sometimes while awake. And so I'm just keeping notes for that because eventually I have an appointment at an actual sleep clinic, but not until April next year. So I'm just keeping the information in the meantime for something to do with it. And then I guess so I can take it with me to my appointment eventually. It's just data that I find helpful to have, and then if I have a few weeks where I feel particularly bad, I can go back and look at the sleep data and see sort of if that could be a factor, which it almost always is. So it's just nice to have something concrete to look at. Big side effect of potentially having a lifelong undiagnosed sleep disorder is that I have really bad problems with my memory. I'm not sure how much of that is from being autistic and always overwhelmed, or having sleep issues, or other factors in my life. But I do have sort of quite debilitating memory issues. I lose a lot of time. Not in the way of like, oh, how did I end up in the kitchen, but in like a what did I do for the last 2.5 weeks kind of way. And that's a big part of why I keep notebooks. And that's also why having this data is so helpful, because if I am feeling terrible and I can't work out why, I can look at the sleep data and it's something concrete to back myself up with. It's very easy to lose time and to lose memories, and if I have the data, then it gives me something solid, which doesn't always make me feel better, but it is useful to have. So that's why I do it, and that's why I do all of this, basically. Moving on from my sleep log, I have my monthly page for July. I'm using the Zig dot markers. I have one to hand. Yes. Zig clean color dot single. There you go. I'll link all the stuff I use in the description so you can find them easily. I don't know if I love them. They're quite pale when you stamp them. Like, some of them are almost useless. They're really strange. There are 3 sets of colors. You get like mild, bright, and pale or something, but they're all very muted, which normally I would be a big fan of, but I think the quality of the zebra mild liners is so good color-wise that I guess I was expecting a similar performance from these, and I don't feel like they are. They are nice. I think this is this color, but I'm not convinced I like how it looks. I think it looks a bit like, I don't know. So I might use my Stylogy index dots that I use in the rest of my book. I might use the 5mm ones, the smaller ones, to do this. I might cover them over if I can, just because I'm not super excited about it. I'm not in love with the way it looks, basically. Although the reason I got the markers was to stop having to buy so many dots, and obviously if I go back to using more dots, that doesn't solve that problem. So we'll see, but that is one thing that I'm like not 100% on in this book, is the use of the dot markers on my calendar. I do use them again in a couple of daily pages, and I'll show you that there, and it works well for that, but again, I'm not 100% on it, so it's kind of like just a small thing I'm not sure about. The contents, well, basically how I use this page is that because I wanted a small calendar, I dot the date and then I write down what the thing is. So Wednesday was at the vet on that day. It's just obviously the date correlates down here, and I use it like an index rather than writing in the grid. Yeah, it's very simple. That's how I like it. I don't tend to need the monthly overview too much, and the way I do need it is just to be able to very quickly see which days are busy. Sometimes if there's a lot of writing in the squares, I do just kind of get confused about what's going on. So I think I've worked out that this is the best view for me, if that makes sense, is to have it sort of like with the dots of some kind and then the index underneath. On the side here, because I had some spacing issues, I just wrote "don't forget to rest when you can," which I think is a really nice reminder, and I carried it over to August, so there we go. It's because I ended up with 2 squares over here and 3 squares over here, which is part of the fun, I guess, of laying out your own pages, is working out how exactly to space things. It's a lot of trial and error. I'm kind of surprised at how much trial and error it is, but it has been a really fun time, and there's something nice, I guess, about having designed all my pages myself for myself, and then also getting to see other people use them through the shop and stuff and on Patreon. It's really exciting to see other people use them, so it's fun. Moving on from these, my weekly pages, super simple at the moment. I do have some other varieties of weekly pages that I sometimes use, but not this month. This month I'm using a very simple small box system because I've been tired, so I've been trying to restrict how much I can do each day. If it's not on the list, I can't do it. Those are the rules. So I have a box up here for priorities. That's what this is for. And then I have my days of the week going down, all 7 fit on one page, which is nice. And then I just mark them off bullet point style. I do try to schedule in rest days. Normally this is after the fact, when I'm crashing sleep disorder wise and I'm just sort of vaguely napping and dreaming while awake all day. I will then schedule the rest at the end of the day and be like, that was what I did that day. Sometimes I'll do a bit of work and then crash, and then that's often why it's later in the page. I do like this layout. I think it's actually working really well for me, especially because I do make this half-page task list where I can put like a running list of tasks I need to do. This way I can have a list of stuff to refer to without having to schedule it for a specific day. I can just do it when I need to, or when I want to, or when I feel up to doing it. And I don't have to move it from day to day and waste the space. I can just refer to my task list and then work it out amongst myself. On the back of the task list, I just have a page for notes in case I want to write about my week. I used it the first week of the month. I don't think I used it the rest of the month, but previously I did use it a lot, and it's nice to have it there. Otherwise it would just be wasted space, which is sad. So there we go, I have that on the back. And then my weekly habit tracking. So I track fatigue and energy levels for obvious reasons, we talked about it. I then track headaches and mental health because I get a lot of headaches and migraines, nosebleeds as well. And then my normal daily tracking, so engaging with a special interest, drinking at least 1 bottle of water, doing at least a little bit of work, because some days it just doesn't happen to do a lot of work, but I think a little work is always achievable. Even if that's just a few emails, it still gives me that sense of accomplishment, I guess. It's still an acknowledgement that I did do some work, which, you know, when you're disabled is kind of, you know. Taking my migraine meds and then practicing Welsh on Duolingo. These are things I always do, but it's still nice to tick them off just so that I know I did them. And then each week repeats in the same way. I made the tracking, I mean, obviously I made all the pages myself, but on the tracking page I added CDs, and I have a different CD for each week of the month, which is kind of fun. Just a little niche thing that I could do for myself because I make the pages myself. Which again is just that thing of like, there's a lot of autistic joy, I guess, in making my own pages and keeping a little autistic book of everything. I really love to see which week we're on. Sometimes I'll be like, oh no, it's the gorillas week. And it's just like it's a funny thing. Obviously some weeks I don't use the priorities and some weeks I do. I do tend to always use the task master list. And then on a day like this one, I didn't write any tasks down. Normally this is either a really bad day or a day when I was just busy, like out or something, and I'll write about it instead of adding tasks. When I do that, I just draw this line, just because otherwise the page is kind of unfinished. I didn't do it here. Maybe you can see what I mean. I just forgot to draw it here, but like I just think this looks neater with these ones compared to this one. So I do try to draw the line. I'm literally not sure how that happened. Again, here I didn't use the additional notes. Oh, and this was a week when I was using daily pages. So I had a busy week. That's why there's so much writing and not enough tasks, because I had a busy couple of weeks when I was rearranging my room and building a new desk, and I was a bit overwhelmed. I realized I didn't have enough room, and paper planning works best for me. So I like quickly, and by quickly I mean it takes me time to work it out, but quickly whipped up a daily page for myself, kind of based on the Hobonichi cousin, I guess. I had a quick short task list at the top and a to-do list, and then I had the hours, and then I had space for notes as well, and also I added weather and mood tracking just for fun, because I like data. There's not enough room on my weekly page really for weather and mood tracking, so it was just an opportunity to add it into the daily page, and I think it's kind of cute. This is what I used those dot markers for again, was for the weather and mood, and I think it does work, but again, I don't love the way it looks. I just feel like it's very undersaturated, I guess. But I don't know. This is fun. It worked really well for me for the couple of days that I needed it. I think I used it for 4 days, and it was good. I like that because I'm using a ring binder, a filofax, because I make my own pages. When I was overwhelmed, I was able to just add in more pages for myself. Like, I could just squeeze them into the week and then have the tracking after, and it worked so well, and then the next week was just back to normal. And it's that flexibility, I guess, that I've come to really, really value. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of a novelty, I guess, because when I've been using bound books in the past, whether it's Hobonichi or whether I've been bullet journaling in a blank notebook, whatever, it's just, you can't add stuff in much. You could obviously make a page and stick it sort of like as a flip, but I don't know, it just feels different. So I've been enjoying it a lot. I know that ring binders for planners are a really acquired taste. I know a lot of people try them and then don't enjoy it and it just doesn't vibe with them. But I think it is really vibing with me. So this week is a My Chemical Romance week. And then the new Moon soundtrack from Twilight, which I just thought was funny, and then whenever I'm like 3 weeks into the month, it does always really cheer me up, so it's just there. Don't know what happened on this Thursday, but I guess I was not doing so good because it just says rest and it's not even underlined. Again, didn't use the notes. And then I don't know where we're at. I don't know what happened this week. I have been having a weird time. It was after I built all the furniture and stuff and I was trying to move everything around. I was struggling a bit, and I feel like you can kind of see that reflected in the blank pages. But I was trying to keep on top of stuff, and then I am currently behind, so there's that. I've added in August. I'm not sure whether I'll now take some of these pages out and archive them, or if I'll keep them in. They do fit. I just printed them today to see. August sleep log, it now follows the same pagination as the beginning of the month. It just keeps looping. So that's August sleep log. And then I have the month, which I haven't filled out yet. And then this week, which I also haven't filled out yet. It's Friday the 4th today, so we are behind, but I can probably backfill. I'm not gonna lie, I've mostly been resting this week, so all I did was play The Sims 4. So I'll probably do that thing where I write and then draw the line, and that's what it will look like. But that's how I use my weekly pages. We've looped back around to Nirvana, so there we go. I haven't printed out my little side, how do you call them, half page inserts yet. I need to do that. I did print them and then I hole punched them really badly. I don't know why. I think I got started by the door or something, and so I just messed it up. So I need to reprint them. Moving on to my commonplace book. This is a big part of my system. I've talked about it at length. I'm not sure how much to say now, but my commonplace book is a big part of my book of everything practice, my journaling practice, my planning practice, my, I don't know, autistic practice. I just, it's invaluable to me. Again, I made a little vellum divider and then I stuck this on top. It's just made with printer paper. It's just nice to have a little divider, I think, and this is one of my favourite photos of all time. It's just like a vintage Halloween thing, but if you follow me or have done for any length of time, it's probably familiar to you. It kind of pops up all over my stuff. Big fan. I just think it's perfect. My indexing system, I don't have a key in this book because I've been using this system for so long that I don't really need a key to refer to anymore. But I use these to tag topics. I've talked about it like at length in previous videos, so if you want to know what the dots mean, you can maybe go back and look. But the purple one is just personal stuff, brain drain. So whenever I write like diary style entries or just journaling pages talking about what's going on, I'll always use the purple dot, and that is definitely my most used dot. For a while I had a brain drain page titled so that I maybe wouldn't have to use the dot, but I like using the dot, so I went back and stopped using that. These are my own digital stickers, so you can also get those if you like them. It's really fun, again, because I print my own pages. It's just nice to be able to bring more illustrative work into my planner. Previously I wasn't really doing that. I don't really draw traditionally, I like to draw digitally, so working this way and printing all my own pages does feel very like, it is like a real unification of both sides of my practice, I guess, and that's like, it's really good. It's working really well for me. So some personal stuff, I guess. All of it is purple, so it's all personal stuff. I do like to stick little bits in. It's just very nice. I like to collect things. I am a collector. I think most autistic people are collectors, and then because I have memory stuff, like, it just makes me like an obsessive collector. So this is the way. Ray Bradbury, The Halloween Tree. It's a cover from 1972. I just thought it was neat. It's not relevant to the text. I just wanted it there, which is often a theme. This one is about sleep disorders. This is an article that I found online, and then I copy and pasted and printed it, and then I annotated the text. A big part of commonplacing is text from elsewhere. That is what commonplacing traditionally is. Commonplacing traditionally is not your journal. They're meant to be very separate, but over time I've just merged mine together because that works best for me. I need everything to be in one place, and that's how I like it. So that's why I tag things, I guess, and the grey dot is for copied text, with my commonplace text, basically. So this is an article that I printed. Basically, because I make my own pages, I was able to put the text on the page and then print it, so I didn't have to copy the whole thing by hand. Normally for shorter articles I would copy it all by hand, but because this was like a really technical medical article, I didn't want to. But the nice thing is that I can go through and highlight the text digitally as well. So what I do is copy all of the text onto the pages, and then I go back through to the beginning and I read it all from the start and highlight what I think are the most important points, and underline bits too that I think are interesting. And that way I'm not just like absent-mindedly or very quickly copying and pasting and then printing and then forgetting about it. It's still a very interactive way to interact with the text, because it's so like hands-on. I'm doing so much rereading of it, so I don't feel like I've lost anything by copying and pasting like longer articles. Previously I've talked a lot about the importance of writing stuff by hand for memory and stuff. But as I say, because I'm interacting so heavily with the text still, I don't feel like this is like a bad thing. It's not a step backward. I feel like it's just complementary to the practice. And then after I print it out, I do then go back and annotate what I've highlighted. So it's like a triple interaction, and it's working really well for me. So this is all the same article. Obviously, if I wrote it by hand, it would be like 30 pages. So it's nice to be able to have the option of printing some bits. Again, some quotes. I reread these a lot, actually. They were words I collected about like falling asleep and feeling unreal or existing in between, that kind of thing. And it's just, I don't know, I enjoy it. This is another one of my tarot cards. Four of Swords has a lot of meanings, but one of them is about resting, and if you don't rest then you'll be forced to rest, kind of thing. So it's kind of in here as a reminder to rest, because sleep disorder and autism and everything else. So rest is a big part of my life, unfortunately. It is a good reminder though. Nothing on the back of this one, but I will add something eventually. And then just another commonplace page. This one is kind of cute. I tried layering some stuff like I would do in my A5 books, but I don't really like how it looks, so I kind of stopped. And then I just have like 1 or 2 images per page instead, which I think looks nicer on a smaller scale. This one is my autistic Sherlock Holmes sticker. I just like to make notes about him. One of my oldest special interests, so not a lot to say about it. It's just part of my mental health practice, I guess. And I always think this painting looks like him, so that's why it's there. Some more notes, some sketchbook pages. Again, it's just nice to be able to print these and have them like be there so easily. Nothing on the back of it yet, because I didn't want to put like a random journal entry there, I guess. I kind of wanted to put something relevant, but I'm not sure what it would be, and I guess that's why it's still blank all this time later. This one, I don't know what it's about, can't read my own writing. One of my favourite pictures too is this jacket, and then a coffee order. Again, all the text is kind of just, I don't know, it's not relevant, it's just personal stuff, so it's mostly just talking for the sake of getting it off my chest. This one is a sticker from a CD, and this one is obviously a cinema ticket from when I saw Insidious 5. Underneath, some text. And then this is my current zine project most of you will know about, Everyday Gloom. I am working on it. Big fan, having fun. And then Wednesday's birthday and her little picture. I always try and take a cute picture of her for her birthday. So far in this book, which is now just one book forever, but you know what I mean, so far in these pages, these commonplace pages, it is mostly personal stuff, just because I've had kind of a lot going on, which if you're a regular viewer you probably realise. I've been having kind of a weird time with my health and stuff, so it is more personal pages than anything else. Normally there would be a much bigger balance between personal pages and commonplace pages, but I just haven't had the energy at the moment, to be honest with you. And then when I'm not like doing other stuff or filling out the planner bits, I'm kind of working on the Halloween project. So the time previously when I maybe would have been doing more commonplace, I'm now trying to focus that small amount of energy I have on this project. So that's why there's more to see for these, I guess, than there is anything else. I have more pages to add today, actually. I need to print them. I have 2 more pages. We're at about 9-10 pages now, which is quite exciting. So I added some more commonplace pages last week, and then moving on to the next divider, which has nothing on it. I was previously using these CD trackers. My media trackers look like this. So this is my book log, for example. And they used to look like this, and I thought that it would be fun to have a CD version where I had the track list, and then I could mark if I own it on like Spotify, cassette, CD, vinyl, whatever. Could rate it out of 5, like I have the listening date, that kind of thing. But in the end, I just didn't really like how they looked. I really like using it for book reviews, but I just didn't love this. I tried printing it with coloured images instead of black and white, and I still didn't really like it. So in the end, what I've done is make a My 100 style page, like you get in the Hobonichi books. It's split into pages of 25 because, you know, the numbers don't add up, the math ain't mathing otherwise. And then I have room for notes or pictures, which is kind of cool because I can make pictures that flip down. Yeah, I haven't started filling it out yet. I think I'm gonna do songs rather than albums, or maybe I could do both. I mean, I make the rules now, so but I do have references for what I've been listening to so far this year, the albums I've been listening to, so it won't take me long to fill it in. I just haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, that's been my idea. There's 5 boxes here on this column, so I can still rate it if I want to. Again, this is another thing I guess I would use the stamp pen for, but I'm not in love with the idea of using it. I guess if I keep using it sporadically throughout the book, then I would get used to the look of it, but I don't know. My book reviews, let me show you, because I have them filled out in my A5 and I didn't want to move them over until I was sure that I was sticking with the personal size. This is my A5 book, in case you haven't seen it. It is cool, it's just too big. I was a fan, it's just so unwieldy. But this is how I use the page. It's the exact same thing. This one is just obviously a lot more shrunk down, and so it only has 1 book per page. But what I do is I print my book covers small like this, and then I can put them here. I only ever glue the bottom so that there's room to read the text, basically. And it works well, I really enjoy it. So I just need to reprint these and copy this text out into here, basically. And then it will be fine. But see, I like how these look, and I don't like how these look. And I don't know why, because they are like fundamentally like the same thing. There's just something about this that is not working for me. And I think that my 100 will be cooler because I can track more songs that way. Like, I don't always listen to an entire album, sometimes I just like songs. So yeah, I think that'll work better for music tracking. I will update you as I work it out because I think this will be cooler. I have the same thing for film and TV, but I haven't filmed it. Oh, I printed all of these for these. I haven't filled out, where is it? My film and TV log. I think I just have like 1 page. I need to fill in some stuff I've watched. Again, I just haven't gotten around to it. I try to wait so that I have like, I print these by doing it where you save all the images individually and then you open them all up together and then you print like 18 on a page. So I've been waiting until I have 18 pictures to print them, basically, which is why it's all empty. So I need to wait until I have 18 books and films all together so that I can print them all out on 1 page without wasting like half a page of paper. And so I just haven't gotten there yet, I guess. I probably am almost there. I need to count and find the images, and then to be honest I might be able to do it like this week, next week. But that's how I'm using the spaces. For the film one, you can have the release date, the director, the genre, the rating, the watch date, and then like notes. And again, I'll stick an image. And same for books, basically. So that's cool. I think that's the end. And then I have these little pouches. Again, they're just filofax ones. This one for my dot stickers. This one for images that I print in advance, so that when I'm downstairs on an evening I don't have to print anything and come all the way back upstairs. I can just be down there working and I can just stick something in. And again, so I print a lot of images, I collect them over time and then I print them all at once to save paper. It just makes the most sense. Otherwise you'd be printing 1 image on each sheet of paper for, I don't know, and it would just be silly. It works well like this, and it's cool to have them all in here, so there we go. The ruler, filofax ruler, I already talked about hole punching it. And that is the whole book. That's how it's come together so far this month, or in about a month. Some blank spots, but mostly good, pretty consistent, and I love it, to be honest. I do really love it. As far as archiving goes, I think I'm going to be using the filofax archive folders just because they're easy to get a hold of and I can keep things consistent. They're not the best quality. This one, for some reason, just doesn't line up. I don't know if you can see that, but like it's not straight. I keep trying to like pull it, but it's just like a bit weird. As I said, I don't know if I'm going to take these pages out yet or not, but I just wanted to show you quickly with something. That my slightly wider pages do fit perfectly in the filofax archive folder. I checked before. If they somehow don't fit now, I'll be so annoyed, but they do because I checked, so it's fine. The only thing I don't like about these folders is that they're prongs, which means that you can't flip through them. So if I wanted to reference something, I couldn't flip through it. I would have to open it, and then I would have to take all the pages out to try and find what I was looking for. For a minute, I really thought they didn't fit. I was so confused. Oh. This is always so much fiddlier than I think it needs to be. Okay, there we go. So yeah, to look for anything, I would have to take the pages out and then flip through them all manually, which is the only thing that I think is really annoying about it. Otherwise, I think it's fine. And again, at least it's easy and it's consistent. They're not very expensive. I think they're like £5 or something, maybe less. And they'll look uniform on a shelf. So this is what I'm using for the time being. I might eventually start storing them in like bound in boxes maybe, but I don't know. At least these are compact. I don't really want to buy lots of cheap ring binders on Amazon for archiving, which is what I thought I might do for the A5, just because it kind of sucks. So I don't know. If you have any ideas of how to archive things otherwise, you could let me know. I was thinking about making like a printable envelope that you could store groups of pages in, but I'm not sure if that would really be that practical when you look at how much chunk you get after you have a certain number of pages. I'm not sure if that would really yeah, I don't know. It's inspired by this one you used to be able to get for field notes that you could print from someone's blog, and it was really good. But obviously field notes are a consistent size, so I'm not sure it would work in the same way for these kinds of pages. But it is a fun idea, so I might experiment with it and see where I get. But otherwise this is kind of the plan, is to store them in these binders. Yeah, okay. Put these back in. I'm not really ready to say goodbye to any of these pages yet still. I think I said that last month maybe, or like recently-ish. I don't feel ready to take them out and start fresh, but eventually I probably will, and that will be nice. Like, it's just nice to have the option of starting fresh. I know that when I was using my Hobonichi cousin, by the time I finished, I think it was April I used it, I was kind of ready. Like, I kind of almost wanted to take those pages out and put them away, and it was kind of annoying that they were there, and I don't know why, it just was a thing. So it will be so nice to have the option. I'm really excited. I know that, as I said, ring binders are an acquired taste, but I hope this was interesting for you. It just works for me. I feel like something has just clicked for me with this. I just feel like it works. And obviously the personal size is really portable. I carry it around in my bag all the time. It is not super big, it is quite little, and it's just nice. I made the bookmarks myself too with paper clips and beads, and it's just fun. I like the whole DIY aspect of it. So there we go. Okay, I'm losing my voice. Don't know if you can hear it, but I'm getting croaky. I'm scared to check how long the video is, but I hope this was interesting for you. This is how my month has looked. I might try and film a quick flip through over on the bed, so I'll add that on the end if I do. But otherwise, hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to ask any questions you have in the comments. I'm excited to see the kind of stuff I can keep making for this, because it's just such like the DIY of it, I guess. It's been really fun. I've been really enjoying it. The zine I'm working on will be a printable zine, so that's kind of cool. It's fun to make stuff that's printable at home, because no one has to worry about shipping, paying for it, and things getting lost, and I don't have to worry about trying to pack orders by myself in my small room. It's been really a joy, I guess, to work on stuff that's printable for myself and for others. So there we go. Okay, I'm losing my voice. I will see you guys next week. Take care of yourselves. Let me know in the comments, please, what your current setup is. Like, I would really be interested to know because I feel like it's getting so varied. Please tell me what your current main notebooks are and what you use them for because I am nosy. Okay, see you next week.